Good afternoon. This is Dr Ayamba, leader of the oppressed people of Ambazonia. My message today is to all Ambazonian military men and women currently conscripted within the military of Cameroon. Fellow compatriots, the past few weeks have seen a new wave of reawakening in Ambazonia, ranging from the lawyers' call for an overhaul of the legal status quo to the teachers demanding an immediate redress of the evident eradication of our educational heritage. The message of the desire for Ambazonian liberation from Cameroon has become even clearer as manifested in the mass public demonstration on November 22nd in Bamenda. I am not sure most of you will understand this message because the military regime has francophonized all of us. You now find pride in speaking French, bullying in French, dying for the French, and acting French simply to be accepted by the slave master. But in times like this, no single one of you can be blind to the deafening reality confronting our people on the streets across the occupied homeland. To all of you in Cameroon's military, I want you to think and rethink in the midst of this very critical moment of unprecedented renaissance and sense of nationalism amongst our people. I want you to think about who you serve. Which flag do you show allegiance to? Who do you die for? Is it Cameroon, an 85-year-old Sena grandfather called Biya, or your homeland? Who is your enemy? Those who take to the streets to ensure that you get a better working condition? That your language should be respected? That the roads you drive on be repaired? That you may come home tired in the evening and find electricity in your household? Or those who have robbed you of your land, your pride, your honor, your dignity? Who is the real enemy? Someday down the road, when you will be asked of what you did when our people were killed on the street, our women raped, our fathers turned into boys, and our sons and daughters tortured and detained or forced into exile, you should be proud to say, I took a stand for them. This is that one moment in history for you to join the masses to overthrow the 55-year-old tyranny in our country. The battle for the freedom of our homeland from Cameroon is a battle that must be supported by each one of you. Every Ambazonian of all walks of life. It is a battle that is built on the foundations of legality and justice. It is a battle that is anchored on the lone motive of seeing a free homeland for all. The battle for the freedom of our land from the occupation of Cameroon is a battle that will go down in the annals of history as a turning point in the event of a life of a people. We will build a homeland for all, a country where men and women in uniform are not slaves but experts in different domains, a country in which men and women in uniform must not live on bribes because of low pay. I therefore call on all the sons and daughters of Ambazonia presently in Cameroon's military to take a bold stand at this very crucial moment in our people's history. To take a stand, not to stand in the way of our freedom, but to join hands with them in realizing that dream of a free and just country of our own, for the betterment of lives on the blood of our slain Ambazonian brothers and sisters, and for the enablement of a better place for our children, born and unborn. God bless you all. My fellow AGCs, as you all are aware, I was in the homeland. It was an historic incursion. Not historic because I went in. Historic because of what I met. Brave and dedicated patriots who have left their homes and who have concentrated their energy to build the capacity to defend the homeland. Historic because of the sacrifices of villagers and communities that have decided to take the risk on all of us our behalf. In the weeks ahead, you will be watching the videos of my entry. You will be proud of what we have done thus far. The problem with this revolution is that it has been prosecuted at the surface. And each time there are dips, there is this descent into some areas of uncertainty, doubting the justness of our cause, the dedication of those who are committed in prosecuting the campaign. You should also understand this revolution is not simply prosecuted at the top. The vast majority of our people are united, have been united, and are still united in their determination to end La Republique's occupation of our homeland. The actions of the ADF on the ground should be an example to show all of us that while we squabble for crumbs from the oppressor's table, why will we fight against each other at the top? The grassroots patriot volunteers get up every morning and are dedicated and more focused on making sure that they can impose a cost on Cameroon. In the last few weeks also, I have engaged in discussions with Mr. Ayuk Tabi. This discussion was brought about by two of his very close collaborators. I wouldn't get into the reasons why this meeting was called, but history will unveil it and it will show the strength of the AGC. The meeting with Mr. Ayuk, which was a teleconference by Skype, lasted for more than 3 hours. It was tense, straightforward, and we expressed ourselves with frankness and honesty. And it was concluded that we should have a face-to-face meeting. I did advise that other leaders be involved, but the interlocutors understood that the prime persons who are necessary to sit and build the foundation of unity should be myself, Mr. Ayuk. We agreed. Mr. Ayuk first proposed the meeting in Nigeria, but I advise that each time we've been in Nigeria has been chaotic and we've not been able to raise our resources to compensate for the expenses. So a meeting in the United States will give us the opportunity to meet and also give us the opportunity to raise some funds. And all of us were excited. So the meeting was scheduled for the United States in the Maryland area. Unfortunately, it was scheduled for the 25th, that's yesterday. But Mr. Ayuk could not pick up a visa. He's going to be able to get a visa tomorrow. So on Friday, I got a call from the conveners and said the meeting has been shifted to Boston for next week. And I agreed. I immediately spoke to policy advisor of the AGC to get the AGC permission to attend the meeting. And I was given the permission. And so I spoke with Dr. Akwanga and I advised that we have to attend the meeting to be able to have this discussion and make sure we can find a middle ground on which all of us can work. I was also advised by the interlocutors that they have advised Mr. Ayuk to suspend the formation of the government until after this meeting. And so while we were preparing for this meeting, the AGC, Maurice, the Republic of Ambazonia, ALIM, and the SCYL were also working in the background in building an alternative platform. This platform, it's not simply to use it to challenge Skakov, but we want to use this platform to show these guys how you build genuine unity, how you build a unitary platform that is reflective of the points of convergence of the constituent bodies. And as we were meeting, Dr. Ebenezer informed us that Ayuk has announced his government. And we looked at the government and we were shocked that despite a meeting scheduled for next week, he went ahead to announce a government. This is what I would like to say. Mr. Ayuk has a right to announce his government. Every individual in the Ambazonian struggle constituted within a particular group or as an individual has a right to announce a government. But what no individual has a right to do is to use a unitary platform and unilaterally declare a government to speak on behalf of every Ambazonian. And I think it was very sad that Mr. Ayuk never learned anything from the first conclave, the second conclave, the third conclave, and the fourth conclave. We failed as constituent groups to build unity, a unitary platform that respected each other's contribution into the struggle and their potential in bringing forth a common agenda for our liberation. We never learned the lesson why we all failed woefully in 5 opportunities to rally together to prosecute this struggle. I am very certain about where we are as the AGC. I am very certain about the work we have done in terms of internationalization, in terms of targeted diplomacy, and where we are now in terms of the right to self-defense. At this juncture of the struggle, the most important issue at bay is the right to protect the territorial integrity of Ambazonia and to protect the dignity of our people. And I am proud to tell you, we are far ahead of the pack. And we are inching closer to that day when we finally make substantial gains to shift the political equilibrium to our favor and to give us the standing in terms of the international community to bat on behalf of our people. But we will be making some very conscious and public statements in the coming hours to be able to project public authority and to project the kind of authority that is going to bat for our people. The kind of authority that is not going to apologize to the occupier when their soldiers go down. The kind of authority that is not going to send letters of condolences to the occupier when their soldiers go down. We are going to project that authority on behalf of the Ambazonian people, and we hope that is also going to send a message to the other parties that genuine dialogue and genuine unity is what is needed at this particular juncture. We will not accept an imposition of a unilateral status quo that reflects the kind of system that we are escaping from. But we will not go out fighting, bashing, undermining, or putting our comrades at the mercy of the social media mob. We are going to act with focus and clarity in the articulation of the issues that we think are necessary to move this revolution to the next level. Thank you very much. God bless you and remain optimistic. You have done well thus far, and the future is bright for Ambazonia.